Hiya folks, I finally got it. It's the first overnighter I've done this year. I'm running a bit late this year. I would have done it over a month ago, but due to some personal stroke family problems, it was nothing too serious. This is the first chance I've got. It's now nearly 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It's Friday, June the 20th. A bit later than I intended, so without further ado, I'm going to get my gear ready there, and I'm going to head up the Salton Tour and then drop down the back. Catch you later. Right, I'm gradually approaching Salton Tour. There's one thing I always like about Dartmore, and that is the views that you get from here. Even though I'm not that high up, you can actually see in the distance there, that is Bodmin Moor, and that's like 20 odd miles away. It's gradually clouded up now. It was a couple of hours ago, it was actually quite sunny. But I don't mind this, seeing it's clouded up, it's cooled it down a bit, at least I'm not getting sunburned. Alright, let's get cracking. Right, I'm gradually coming up to Shellstone Tour now, which is that one in the middle. The one to the right is Black Tour. Then you got Fordlands Ledge, Highways, Yes Tour, and I think that's East Mill Tour or West Mill. I think it's West Mill Tour. Just looking down to Meldon Reservoir, I don't know if the camera's picking this up. There's actually a couple people canoeing. The first time I've seen that in years. It just goes to show how low the reservoir is. Right, some of you may actually recognise this. This is the back end of Meldon Reservoir. It's a footbridge down there. There's obviously somebody down over the dog. I'm just going to head down the hill now. I'm just coming from the back of Shellstone Tour. There's the weir. I'll be crossing, and I'll be following the trackway to the right, all the way up towards Black Tour. And I should be there shortly. Right, let's see if I can cross this without falling in. Yeah, no problem at all. Right, I've just set up my DD 3m square tarp. Slightly different configuration from last time. I've only got one pole with me, so to lift the back out, obviously I've attached a guy line there just to lift it out. It doesn't look quite straight. I've sort of re-pegged it a few times, but the ground does sort of slope off a bit. But at least I'm flat inside. Apart from all the midges hanging around, it's actually just started to rain a bit. Forecast for today was supposed to be sunny and a good night, but it don't quite look it. One thing I've actually purchased recently was a new mat. My old mat was 8mm thick and he started to split, so I decided to get something a bit better. A few people recommended a Thermarest ProLite, but I think that's probably at my price range. What I have been seeing online is the name Multimat. So I've been looking around and I managed to pick up the Multimat Superlite 25. That's the full length mat at 6 foot. So as you can see inside of a tarp, there's plenty of room. The mat itself, £42. Then we can play on that. So there's a lot of midges hanging around at the moment, so hopefully they'll disappear. Right, so I'm drinking my cup of tea there with a splash of whiskey in it. I'll just show you what I brought with me to eat. Everything I had is in this large Ziploc bag. The bag itself weighed about £2 overall. All that's in here is basically like Mars bars, snack bars, tracker bars. I'm only up here for tonight, or this evening meal, breakfast, and I'll be gone. So just a few snacks. The little Ziploc bag there, my thumbs tap in, is some rolled oats that I always bring up for breakfast. However, what I've brought to try tonight, this was recommended to me by Dartmoor Wanderer. It's the Look What We Found brand. I've got some beef meatballs. You can microwave this stuff, but you can also boil in the bag, which is what I'm going to do in a moment. The other meal I brought with me is a Wayfarer ready to eat meal, beans and bacon. The reason why I brought it I don't know if the camera's going to pick this up. It says best before the end of November 2013. I actually forgot I had this, so I'll probably have this for breakfast in the morning. 6 months out of date, it should still be alright, but you never know. Right, I've got the Look What We Found meal in my mug to boil. I've got about put 2/3 of water in after the bag got fitted. But looking at that, I think I need a bigger mug now, seeing I've just upgraded to a 750. Obviously when that boils, I'll just turn it down, let it simmer, which is something you can do with gas and not the meth stoves that I use. I'll leave it in there for a few minutes, and when it's done I'll probably take it out and put it into a foil pouch just to like retain some of the heat for a while. And let's see how we go with that. Right, proof of the pudding. The smell's not too bad, it's still quite hot. So, well, for £2, that wasn't too bad actually. Sauce was very nice. As what Dartmore Wanderer said to me about it, he said when you have one of these you really need someone else to go with it. And I actually do agree with that. Maybe a couple of slices of bread and butter, or even probably 2 of these if you're quite peckish. Maybe some mash, I don't know, something like that, but for £2 you can't complain. Certainly, right, you can see my shelter there in the distance is about 70 odd metres away. I'm off to get some more water, and the stream's just up behind me. Obviously what I'm using is the Sawyer filter. It's not the mini, it's just the original one. I'll be using the titanium mug to fill up the 2 pouches I got, which is a 1 and a 2 litre. I'll then purify the water, filter the water and put it to my Nalgene, and I'll refill both bags ready for the filtration in the morning, which will give me a total of 4 litres. I could fill the small bottle I brought with me, but I'll do that later on in the morning. So at least I've got 4 litres of water on hand, at least 1 litre already purified. Right, let's get cracking. And 1 stream. So right, that's all that done. My Nalgene bottle, that's now got 1 litre of purified water, 2 Sawyer bags, untreated water, total of 4 litres of water. I recommend the Sawyer system. I certainly prefer it over the MSR mini works that I was using for quite a while. The MSR filter, good filter in itself, just heavy, weighing in at a pound. The Sawyer weighs in 3-4 ounces. Obviously what I do with my Sawyer, when I've used it, it goes straight into a Ziploc bag, just to make sure no water leaks out anywhere. The mug itself I've used to fill up the bags. Obviously it's been in untreated water. I'll probably just dry it out. When I'll use it again, I'll put water in, I'll boil the water and I'll let it boil for a little bit longer and then swish it around just to like sterilise the rest of the mug. Done that before, never had a problem with it. Right, it's been a little while now since I purified some of the water. I've just put some into my metal mug. I'll have another cup of tea in a moment. I'm now sort of gone into the night mode. I'm packing away the stuff that I don't need until the morning and leaving out the stuff that I'll need shortly. What I'm also doing is I'm going to get changed in a minute. There's a lot of gnats and midges around where I am. I'm currently wearing just a long sleeve shirt and the sleeves rolled down, it's just stopping biting. I'm also wearing a British Army wool head over. That's again stopping from biting my neck. But as I'm going into night mode, one of the items I've brought with me is a recent acquisition. It's a new flashlight. What I've got is a Nitecore EA1. I also purchased a Nitecore MT1C, which I didn't bring. The EA1, and what I like about it, first up, the reflector is a lot wider than all the other torches I've got of the same sort of type. It's also deeper, which gives it a further throw. Second good reason, it runs on 1 AA battery, either rechargeable, alkaline or lithium battery. We also run on a 14500 lithium-ion battery, which is rated over 4 volts, but a normal 1.5 volt battery would do. Another reason why I like it is the pocket clip. Though it'll go down in that way, you can actually have a reverse clip to go on like a baseball cap, turn this into a headlamp. Another unique feature is a red light. The camera's only just picking it up. It's not much of a range on it, but it's good enough when you're in the tent and it's dark and you don't want to destroy your night vision with a bright white light. So I'll give this one a try later on. I may try and film it in action, but it all depends if this camera will actually pick it up. So that's another item I'm trying out. Right, it's 9 o'clock. It's still a bit of a breeze. I've just got changed, put on a long sleeve t-shirt underneath my shirt, and the clouds have actually started to disperse. It's turned out to be quite a nice evening. May catch the sun setting there. Behind me though, all blue sky. The wind keeps changing directions, currently coming this way, but being in this area, the wind will swirl around quite a bit. It was originally coming this way, then from that way, then back, and it's sort of moved around, and no doubt it'll turn around again later on. I'm not too worried. At least I get a nice breeze in there. Still quite warm, and there's still a load of flies around. Right, it's 9:45 at night. Just made myself a cup of tea and I poured a little bit of whiskey in there as a nightcap, as you do. I got something to eat. It's breeze has picked up a little bit, but it's not too bad at the moment. If it stays like this, should be a good night. Alright, somebody really recently asked me a few questions about the tarp, mainly to do with the weights. The tarp in question here weighs in at about, excuse me, about £1.13. The bag of pegs, when you get the tarp you get 4 pegs and 4 guy lines. I've added another 8 or 9 pegs to that. The total weight of that is 11 ounces, so for basically about £2 8 ounces, £2 9 ounces is a good system. The only problem I have is the ground sheet I'm using, which is an old army poncho. It's about 8 foot by 5, which is good enough for this, but the problem with that, it weighs £1 4 ounces. Which brings my total to about £3 3/4, £3 12 ounces, which is only £3/4 pound lighter than my old tent, and you can certainly get some lightweight tents, especially lighter than £3.5 pound. So if anybody's got an idea of what I can use as a ground sheet of at least 8 by 5, and it doesn't weigh £1 4 ounces, please let me know. Another system I am still using is the elastic band around the top where the pole goes. I always find that when a pole goes in, it just forever slips around. So by using the elastic band, it holds it in place. It does make it very stable, and it hasn't slipped on me yet. Another thing that I do use, I don't know if I can pick this up, on the bottom of the pole, I use the basket that comes with the pole, just to stop the pole from tipping over and gives that little bit of extra stability. Right, I'm at Fordlands Ledge. In front of you now is Lint's Tor. It's where I camped last night. Was down there. Just show you the rest of this valley. And down there is Black Tor. On the other side of the valley, don't know if the camera's picking this up now. See a large piece of white just there? That is a wreckage of a B-24 Liberator that crashed here, I think it was December 1944. And all the wreckage goes up the side of the hill. There is a cyclone engine, I think it's a cyclone engine, part way up actually in the ground. The plane come across the top of the hill and crashed and come all the way down. What you probably see down there is part of the fuselage, and below that, I don't know if the camera's picking up, is the tail section. There's not much of it left. Most of it's probably buried somewhere in the hill, and over the period of years it's just been covered up. Right, I'm currently on High Wheelhace, which is the highest point on Dartmoor, and I think it's the highest point in southern England south of the Mendips. If I'm wrong, somebody please correct me on that. I'm going to head over to Yes Tor in a moment, which does look higher, but I'm afraid it's not. Normally, when I'm up on Dartmoor and I'm walking, I'm usually further over. Obviously now the mist is blocking the view, but I'm a couple of hills over walking back. But today I don't have the time, so I'm going to quickly head over to Yes Tor, drop down. I may do the tour behind it, or I may do one to the right, and then head back into Oakhampton from there. Right, let's get cracking. Just a slight change of plan. Just walked down from Yes Tor. I'm now heading to West Mill Tor, rather than going around on the track. slightly more direct route, and I've been there for quite a while actually. So right, this is West Mill Tour. I've just come down from Yes Tour, which is that one. And what I'm going to do now is head down in that direction. Probably not to the bunker, but there's a track going down that way, and then I'll just follow it all the way back. If I've got time, I may pop over to that tour, which I think is Road Tour, then head back down. Right, I've finished all my walking now. I've just got off the moor. I'm right next to Old Campden Camp, which is over there. I made it in good time. I'm probably about 10 to 15 minutes earlier, but I've now just got to walk back into Old Campden to catch a bus home. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. All the best.